everybody. So today we went over conclusions and disputes. So basically, conclusions and disputes is when you're given an argument and you have to identify what the conclusion of the argument is. So here's the strategy that I found that's really, really helpful and efficient for me. Basically, every argument is split up into usually about 3 or 4 sections. So, you could take a moment to look over this problem right here. You can pause it. And you'll see that if you copy and paste that argument, you can break it up into these 3 main sections. There's usually the context to a problem, the problem itself, and then the reason it's a problem. That's like a lot of times the 3 main sections of the problem. If you do that, it'll really help you to, or it helped me to get the argument. And then from there, you'll identify what the conclusion is. Because typically for these ones, at least for the basic level, the conclusion is written right inside the problem. So in this case, the context was many diet-conscious consumers are excited about new fake fat products designed to give food the flavor and consistency of fatty foods, yet without fat's harmful effects. The problem, consumers who expect the new fat substitute to help them lose weight are likely to be disappointed. Reason it's a problem. Research has shown that when people unknowingly or knowingly eat foods containing fake fat, they tend to take in at least as many additional calories as are saved by eating fake fat. So then the conclusion is fake fat might be delicious, but it doesn't reduce calories, or fake fat doesn't reduce calories. Right? That's basically it. So then if we go back to the options, we're looking for that fake fat does not reduce calories. A, people tend to take in a certain number of daily calories no matter what types of food they eat. No, that's not it. B, most consumers who think that foods with fake fat are more nutritious than fatty foods are destined to be disappointed. No, and this was trying to throw you off because nutritious, they didn't use the word nutritious. Right? If you look, they just said it has as many additional calories. So if you look up the word nutritious, right? Boom. Nutritious. It just means nourishing and efficient as food. So it doesn't say anything about that. Then fake fat products are likely to contribute to obesity. They didn't say that. Fake fat in foods is probably not going to help consumers meet weight loss goals. Didn't say that either. Fake fat in foods is indistinguishable from genuine fat by most consumers on the basis of taste alone. No, they didn't say that. So most consumers who think that foods with fake fat are more nutritious, that wasn't it. So it's D, right? Did I mention it? D, fake fat in foods is probably not going to help consumers meet weight loss goals, is the closest one because, they do say it right here. Consumers who expect the new fat substitute to help them lose weight, they did say that. So sometimes you might miss it, but you gotta go back on the notes. And that's why for me, I found that it's really helpful to copy and paste the words themselves and then separate it so that way, separate it into like the 3, sometimes 4 sections, because that way you can go back and see, wait, did they say that? You gotta find it in their own words for these problems, right? So then ultimately the answer was D. Fake fat in foods is probably not going to help consumers meet weight loss goals because they said that right here. Consumers who expect the new fat substitute to help them lose weight are likely to be disappointed. Boom, that's the conclusion. So I thought the conclusion was going to be they take in at least as many additional calories, but the conclusion was actually what was stated in the problem. All right, so boom, the next one, right? So take a look, take a minute to look over. Remember, you're going to identify the conclusion. Specifically, this is a dialogue, and they're saying the dialogue most strongly supports the claim that Enrique and Cynthia disagree over what? Over whether what? So you can take a moment, see what Enrique says, see what Cynthia says. You can pause it. All right, so again, we could break this down into the same sort of format, right? There's the context to the problem, there's the problem itself. And in this case, it's not the reason it's a problem. It's actually Enrique's solution to the problem and then Cynthia's critique to Enrique's solution. So the context, the city's transit authority does not have enough money to operate for the next 12 months without cutting service or increasing fares. So the problem is, and the federal government has so far failed to provide additional funding, right? So context and problem kind of like intertwined there. Enrique's solution: the transit authority should continue operating without service cuts or fare increases until it's exhausted its funds. At that point, the federal government will be willing to provide funding to save the authority. Cynthia's critique is, if the transit authority tries that maneuver, the federal government will probably just let the authority go out of business. The transit authority cannot risk allowing that to happen, right? So the summary and conclusion, remember, the dialogue most strongly supports the claim that Enrique and Cynthia disagree over whether the transit authority should continue operating without service. Right? That's whether they should continue operating until they've exhausted funds. That's what they're arguing over. Enrique saying, let them exhaust the funds till the government finally kicks in. Cynthia's like, heck nah, the government's not going to kick in, right? So if we look back, we're looking for that. They're arguing over whether they should keep going until exhausting the funds. A says the transit authority should continue operating without cutting service or increasing fares until it has exhausted funds. Literally A, right? Nothing else is straight up A. But we could look at the other ones. B, the federal government should provide additional funding. Nope, never said that. It would be better for the transit authority to cut services than it would be to raise fares. Nope, never said that. Federal government is willing to provide additional funding to the transit authority now. Never said that. Transit authority can afford to operate for the next 12 months without cutting. Nope, never said that. So the answer was A. So look at the other problems and do the same thing, right? Like, I mean, if it helps you, but it helps me. I found it's usually the 3 sections: the context to the problem itself, the reason it's a problem, and sometimes there's a 4th section, right? Or it's context to the problem, a solution to the problem, and a critique to that solution. It's usually these like 3 or 4 sections that starts with the context of the problem, and something about the problem, whether it's a solution to the problem or the reason it's a problem, something like that. So look through the slides and see if that helps you. Remember, the conclusion for these, at least for the basic level, is usually right there in the text itself. So hope this helps. Yay, bye.